Hey, it's Ann, Phases from Discord, and I wanted to take a minute to talk about something that I'm doing now that I didn't used to do, which has really affected the quality of my sound a great deal, I think. And that there's a great deal of emphasis being placed by my teacher who focuses on supported head voice and operatic resonance, of keeping all of this vibration in the mask, this nice egg shaped spot right in here. And that I had hit on something where basically I'm pulling back in the back part of my head in a way that I haven't before. The simplest visualization I have to describe it is if somebody is using your uvula like a slingshot, like it was one of those old tubular rubber tube slingshots, and they pull back. And that pulling back feeling does a whole bunch of things in the back part of my sinuses. Lowers the back palate a bit. It does some things with my larynx. And when I go into high notes, in the same way that I do that, I'm standing at the top of the stack of rickety boxes, reaching for the cookie jar I shouldn't be after. That forward feeling is still there. But now I pull back on that too, and at the same time. And it seems to keep things very full sounding in a different way. It adds some color to the high end notes. Because before, like I've got if you go back into the history of stuff, I've got a thing of After the Gold Rush in there. And that's, well, I dreamed I saw the night in armor coming. That's all nose. So if I do this new thing and I pull back with that, well, I dreamed I saw the knights in armor coming. It gives me a lightness. It gives it a little bit of bounce. It takes stress off of the activity. And it gives it, I think, a nicer sound. So I don't know exactly what to call this. I've run it past my voice teacher, Fred Shelf. Hi, Fred. Nice to see you. And he thinks that the visualization works. It actually harkens back to something one of his instructors told him about. If you, rather than using the slingshot, if you use the imagery of a bow, and the bottom of the bow is here, and the top of the bow is here, and the arch of the bow is in front, and you're pulling back on the bow, the arrow is about at your eyes, and it's going straight forward, and you pull back on the bow. That's another way of visualizing it. His teacher gave him a visualization that was that, but it was the whole body. The base of the bow is at your perineum. The top of the bow is at above your head, and he was having you pull way back for some other purposes, but it was the greater version versus the lesser version is what it used to refer to it as. So anyhow, it adds so much. Even if you're just doing the exercise where you've got people warming up and you're telling them how weird to make them feel, you add that pullback. It's just night and day difference. It's just so huge. So anyhow, I'm still playing around with it. I don't know what it's called. I'm certain it has a proper name. But that's part of what was making Je Crois possible. And there's some other pieces I have to take another look at now that are on my high range and see how I can affect that. The other thing it does is it allows me to use those high notes at low power. I don't have to go into mezzanine mode and like blast to the back seats, which is really interesting too. So anyhow, enough of me blabbering. I'll let you get back to your day. And I just, again, wanted to take a minute to talk about pure technique for just a second. Talk to you later on. Bye-bye.